My name is Abigail Nottingham, and today I'll be giving my speech of introduction. So let's start off with a little bit about me. I live in Rowlett, Texas, and I'm in 11th grade. A couple interests of mine include reading. Now, with reading, it has always been a passion of mine. And some of the books I like to read are Divergent, The Hunger Games, really anything fantasy. And I think I love fantasy so much because it just takes me away from reality for a little bit just to live in this fantasy world with witches and crazy stuff, you know what I mean. Another interest or hobby of mine is writing. Writing has always been something that completely captivates me, and I think it's because I can get all these thoughts in my brain that kind of whirl around and do crazy stuff and get them on paper, somewhere to put them so that I can just forget about them for a little bit, because otherwise I would just be sitting here and thinking about them all the time, and that is not good for me or anyone else. And lastly, the last thing I'm going to talk to you about today is poetry. Poetry has always been something that has just completely taken me captive, and it's because poetry is something that I can just look at and be free in. And that's something that I don't really get a lot of in normal life. You don't normally get to just be who you are because you have to live to social standards and this and that, and it's crazy. And poetry just takes all that and throws it in the trash because it says be who you are and write what you want and create new words, do crazy stuff. Like, look at Shakespeare. Everybody thought he was insane, but he was great. And so that's just how poetry is for me, and I'm actually going to be talking about poetry a little bit later on. Now, in taking this course, there's a couple things that I expect from it, and I'm taking it because I hope to gain more knowledge in how to appropriately present a speech to a group of people, and I really hope to apply it to my slam poem competitions, and I will get into slam poetry later. My goals for this class are to learn how to maintain eye contact without feeling awkward, to be loud despite my quiet tendencies, to not stutter, and lastly, and most importantly, to not ramble, because rambling is awful and it's just one of those things that you just keep going on and on and on, and you see what I mean. And my classmates can help me with this by providing constructive criticism and encouragement throughout this course. Now, lastly, I am, as I mentioned earlier, a slam poet. Slam poetry is a type of competition where people read their poems without props, costumes, or music. After performing, a poet will receive scores 0 to 10 from 5 randomly selected judges who will judge your poem based off of content, style, and production. I have performed in 3 slam competitions, all of them equally amazing. But I think the coolest one was probably the one I got first place in because, I got first place in it. And what was even cooler was that I got to publish my poem in the very end, and it was such an amazing thing. The poem is called Transparent. If you ever want to hear about it, just kind of, email me or something. So thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!